Once again, my name is Father Anthony Nguyen. I'm a Redemptorist missionary who was stationing in Chicago at St. Michael in the Old Town area. But this morning I'm here on behalf of the Unbound to invite you to become sponsor for the poor children and aging people who live in the 17 developing countries where the Unbound is currently involved. The Gospel of Mark tells us that the apostles returned and report to Jesus about what they had accomplished during their missions. Jesus was certainly proud of them and believed they had the qualities of being good shepherds to his people. While sharing, they noticed that many people were looking for them. These people came from everywhere and were great in number. When people discover where Jesus and the disciples want to go, they went ahead of them. They traveled by foot to a desert place. And noticing the people's great desire to listen to his teaching, Jesus' first reaction was to pity them by saying that they were like sheep without shepherd. In other words, he was conveying that the people of God deserve to have good shepherds. This is the reason why Jesus, the good shepherd, was the one God sent to replace the bad shepherds mentioned by the prophet Jeremiah in the first reading. The best shepherds during the time of the prophet Jeremiah were those who misled and scattered God's people. They did not show care for the sheep and only wanted to impress people with their religious act, disregarding their charitable deeds. So Christ was sent to replace those bad shepherds and teach each one of us to be good shepherds ourselves by telling us that we should have a good heart toward one another. So my brothers and sisters, throughout many centuries, Christ's disciples have continued this mission of being good shepherds to God's people. We have examples such as Father Damien, an apostle of the lepers in the Molokai. He who dedicated his life to serve the lepers spiritually and physically. We also have a Mother Teresa of Calcutta who dedicated her life to serve the poorest of the poor in India. Both Father Damien and Mother Teresa helping us that we will recognize the face of Christ in the poor, and all of them, the sick and the poorest of the poor, are our brothers and sisters in this suffering world. So my brothers and sisters, talking about people helping us to recognize Christ in the needy and the poor, I would like to introduce to you the work of the Unbound. The Unbound was founded in 1981 by a group of lay Catholics who live in Kansas City, Kansas. With their great efforts and commitment during the past 43 years, they provided necessity such as food, education, clothing, and medical care for more than 250,000 children and aging people who live in those 17 developing countries. Because of the war, because of the violence in many societies, and also because of the lack of knowledge in technologies, many parents who live in those countries, even though they work real hard in their life, but they suffer financially, not able to support their children, especially for education. I have the picture of Evelyn, 7-year-old girl who was born in Guatemala. The father left home and leaving the 5 children to the wife. The mother is the farmer worker, and especially during the harvest of corn during the different farms. So she works really hard to try to support the family of 6 people. But sometimes not during the harvesting time, she didn't have any job to support the family. This is the reason why I'm here this morning to ask you to become sponsor and be generous to those poor people and poor children like Evelyn. How much we ask you to give to the poor? More than dollars a day, my brother and sister, $40 a month. For how long? I would like to suggest for a year, because during this first year, you will receive letter written by the children or by their family members, introduce themselves just like your grandchildren or your children or the new member of your families. In other words, not knowing the money you give to the poor, but actually you know that 91.4 of the percentage of that money go directly to the poor. Where did you and what or who the people that Unbound helping right now? I have a chance with the other priest. We went to Costa Rica, visit an orphanage. But this orphanage is very special because many of them were born with severe disability. When I said severe disability, I meant that I was standing close to a bed of a boy, hearing his screaming. But when I came close and looking for his face somehow connect with his chest and covered by his hand. And another boy next bed to him, his leg is going up and down like this. The story was during the pregnancies, many young mothers found out that their future baby would be born with severe disability, and many of them thinking about having abortion. But this group of religious sisters promised them will take care of their children until they die. And many mothers changed their mind and gave birth. And the Mother Superior at that orphanage believed that miracle happened every day over there, because the children with the severe, they're still alive in their teenager. I also have a chance to go back to my own country in Vietnam to do a mission in a very tiny in the northern part of the country. At the parish, I noticed the boy about 8 or 9 years of age, but he'd been in the church property from the late morning until late evening. And one day I came out and asked, do you have to go home and eat lunch? And he told me, Father, at my house, there's only one meal in the late evening when my mother came back from the public market. So I came to visit the family. The father passed away during the Vietnam War. The family have a tiny piece of land, so the mother have been growing the vegetable and sell them at the public market. But she shared with me that during the heavy rainy season there, someday she afraid to go home because she didn't have anything to feed her children. And since then, I believe that there are many children in our world don't have enough food to eat in their daily life. And notice that the children in that poor village, they love the candies. So I asked the boy, what kind of candy do you like? And he told me, Father, if you have money, buying the chewing gum. We love chewing gum. So I bought some for them at that time. But the second time when I came back for the mission, I went to Costco and bought about 30 pounds of different kind of candies and make sure they have a chewing gum to bring to the mission, the tiny poor village there, and gave to the children, and ran into the same boy. And I asked him, did you enjoy the candy I brought from America? And he told me, with the big eyes, he told me, Father, those candy smell so good. I put them under my pillow, so my pillowcase smell good before I each one of them. Sharing to you the story, not encourage you to go to Costco and buy candy to give to the poor. That's not my point. But my point is, my brothers and sisters, your dollar a day, just like the sweetness of that candy, to bring to the life of the poor children who live in those poor areas, because they don't know why, far away, the people don't know them at all. But out of your generosity, you're willing to be sponsored and give them the sign of hope that one day they can step out of poverty, become the good citizen in their country, and also the good Catholics in their local church. I remember Pope Francis asking us to pray for more saints. The saint in the 21st century, the saints who love the Eucharist, because in the Eucharist, it's easy for us to recognize the presence of Christ. But pray for more saints who love the poor, because in the face of the poor, it's easier for us to recognize different faces of Christ in our wounded world. So on behalf of the children in Mexico, in Guatemala, in Honduras, Peru, Madagascar, Ecuador, Bolivia, El Salvador, Costa Rica, Colombia, Tanzania, Nicaragua, Kenya, Haiti, Uganda, India, Dominican Republic, and Philippines. I'm very grateful for your prayers for the poor, but also for your generosity to become sponsor after this Mass. We have the tables with volunteers, and myself will help you to become the sponsor if you are thinking about, the poor in our world. There's a sponsor form in here, and we will help you to fill out that form. May God bless you for your generosity. Amen.